At OPTAVIA, our mission is to offer the world lifelong transformation, one healthy habit at a time. The following audio contains personal testimonials of independent coaches and clients within the OPTAVIA community. Their results are based on the unique experiences of their journey. We cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. We hope these stories inspire you to continue your journey with or join OPTAVIA, but please note that they have not been verified and your individual path to optimal health will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you speak with a healthcare provider or doctor prior to beginning your journey with OPTAVIA. Additionally, this audio may contain income or earnings representations of some independent OPTAVIA coaches. The stories shared reflect the unique experience of a very small percentage of OPTAVIA coaches and should not be relied upon by prospective or current OPTAVIA coaches as an indication of what they should expect to earn. We cannot guarantee financial success. Success with OPTAVIA results from successful sales efforts which require hard work, diligence, skill, persistence, competence, and leadership. OPTAVIA acknowledges that this audio may be accessible to OPTAVIA coaches in the U.S., Hong Kong, and Singapore. For OPTAVIA coaches operating in the U.S., please see the OPTAVIA Income Disclosure Statement for statistics on actual earnings of U.S. coaches under the U.S. Compensation Plan. Please note that the Income Disclosure Statement only applies to independent OPTAVIA coaches operating in the U.S. under the U.S. Compensation Plan and does not in any way constitute any representations as to actual or potential accrual of benefits for Hong Kong or Singapore coaches under the International Compensation Plan.
Well, welcome everybody. Hey, we're so excited that you're here today to watch this amazing Health and Hope night presentation. What an awesome kickoff to 2022. This is going to be an extraordinary year for those people who choose to create health in their life. My name is David Bush, and I get a chance to be your host and moderator to tonight's presentation. And if you're just arriving, would you go to the chat section of the webinar? If you're watching this live on Facebook, you can go to the comments and just put in what has been your win of the week. As you're kicking off 2022, we would love to see how some people are winning in their life. It could be the smallest non-scale victory. It could be something that has happened in your life this last week that's bringing you more health or more hope in your life. This is going to be an exciting session. We're going to get a chance to share some transformation stories with you, and we're going to share with you some very practical strategies on how you can create optimal health and well-being in your life using an amazing system called the OPTAVIA program. So let's go ahead and get started. As you're just arriving, go ahead into the chat feature or the comment section if you're watching live on Facebook, or if you're watching a recording. We would love to see what has been your win of the week in the last 7 days. So let's go ahead and get started. Welcome everybody. We're so excited that you're here for this presentation tonight. My name is David Bush, and I get a chance to guide you through some health and hope stories of transformation. We're going to get a chance to share with you some principles that we use in our Habits of Health transformational system to help you to have a more healthy 2022. Well, my story is that 13 years ago, I started this program, and it's been an amazing journey. I grew up as a larger child. I was a football player, so I was kind of one of those kids where, you could step on my foot and my mouth would open. I'd take all the leftovers. Food was fun. Food was entertainment. But when I got done playing professional football, I had to transition into a more healthy lifestyle. And I failed in that transition. The game changed for me. And I didn't have a coach. I didn't have a plan. I didn't have a bunch of teammates that were challenging me to be my best. And I kind of slipped into what I considered to be an unhealthy lifestyle. And that started to catch up with me. So December 28, 2008, I decided to start the OPTAVIA program. And as you can see from the pictures, it has transformed my health. It's transformed my life. And it's been one of the greatest decisions that I ever made. But I have a surprise for you tonight. Tonight is my 49th birthday. My 49th birthday, and I get a chance to celebrate it with you. And it would be no better gift to me for my birthday is to give you the gift of optimal health and well-being. You see, this program has not only changed my life, but it's changed the lives of millions of other people. We just celebrated on New York Times Square our 2 millionth client starting this program. You see, it's not just my story or the stories that you're going to hear tonight that have been transformed, but it's about the idea of helping people to take back control and to become the dominant force in their life. And we're going to talk a little bit about that tonight. But let me just tell you that this presentation is going to be very motivational and it's going to be very inspirational. But if you don't take action on the habits or the strategies or the tactics that we're going to share with you tonight, you could allow the law of declining intent to take over. Over time, if you don't make a decision right when you become motivated and inspired to take action on the inspiration, what happens is that motivation begins to die off. And maybe you've made some decisions as you started 2022, and you've already begun to see the law of declining intent take over. And I don't want you to go through that. I want you to have an extraordinary 2022. I want you to have an extraordinary life, but it's up to you to decide to take action. Because the word motivation is a contraction between the word motive, which is an idea, which we're going to share lots of ideas tonight, and the word action, you deciding to get into action. So here's our agenda tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about mindset and helping you to become awakened to the secrets of lifelong transformation. And when I say secrets, it's not like it's a mystery. It's just that oftentimes people have not searched out the true secret, the truth about what it means to create lifelong transformation. We're going to share that with you tonight. We're also going to share with you some skill sets on how you can decide to move forward in your health from, a whole bunch of resources that are inside of our Habits of Health transformation system, and also from the stories of others. I want to share with you some skill sets that people have actually applied in their life, and you can apply the exact same thing. And if you take action on them, they're simple, and you can move forward in your life to optimal health and well-being. I want to do a quick poll. If you're right by your computer, if you've navigated away, would you come on back to the computer, or come back to your phone and cast your vote? We would just love to see who is with us here tonight. We'll leave that poll up for the next 30 to 60 seconds. And I would love to have everybody participate in it, because it gives us a better idea of how to customize our presentation to the participants that are with us here tonight live. Go ahead and cast your vote. And if you're on Facebook or watching a recording of this, go ahead and put your answer inside of the comment section, and we would love to read those at a later time. All right, let's go ahead and continue with the presentation. We'll wrap up that poll in just a moment. If you're not aware of Dr. Wayne Scott Anderson, I'd love to share with you a little bit about his background. Dr. Anderson was the valedictorian of his medical class. He trained in open heart surgery at Cleveland Clinic. He's the 10th board certified critical care physician in the country. He was also the surgical critical care director at Grandview Hospital in Dayton, Ohio. And he was a department chair of anesthesiology for 18 years. And then he got a vision. He got a vision of being able to create change in the world. He thought that he could go out there and help people to adopt healthier lifestyle habits. And over 20 years ago, he made a decision to leave traditional medicine and move into the pioneering subspecialty of creating health in life, healthy lifestyle. And what's happened over the last 20 years is amazing. I mentioned earlier, 2 million people have started our program, and it's because of the pioneering work of Dr. Wayne Scott Anderson and a vision that he had about getting out of reactive medicine, where he was catching people as they were coming over the waterfall of an unhealthy lifestyle. And he started to move upstream, and he started to find out why so many people were falling into an unhealthy lifestyle river. And that current was beginning to taking them over the waterfall of an unhealthy life. And he wanted to start to teach them how to start adopting the habits of health so that they could start climbing the mountain of optimal health and well-being. And we're going to share with you a little bit about how to do that so that you can have some extraordinary results in 2022. I think that most of you are already aware of the worldwide statistics. We've got obesity has tripled since 1975 worldwide. Most of the world's population live in countries where overweight and obesity kills more people than people that are underweight. I think many of us remember some of the commercials of starving children, but now it's not those that are starving that are having the worst circumstances. It's actually those people that are overfeeding themselves and under exercising. And we're going to start to change that, as we have been over the last 20 years. And we're going to start with inspiring people like you And then you're going to inspire other people because people do what people do. And if we can start to get more people on board with the idea of creating more health and hope in their life, we could truly change the world. And that's what we're on a mission to do. Almost a third of adults with partners report that money is a major source of conflict in their relationship. I don't know if you're struggling right now in that area, but I know that so many people are struggling, and we want to change that. We know that almost 70% of workers were stressed over their finances, with a full 72% admit to worrying about their personal finances while they're at work. Have you been a part of that? I know I have been in the past. It's not a fun thing. It's not a fun thing when you end up having more month than you got money. I know that it's not one of those things where everybody's just thriving in life right now. There's some people out there right now that are struggling with depression, anxiety, or extreme sadness because of the circumstances that have taken place since this pandemic began almost 18 months ago. When you look at the question of how are you, it has turned into an emotional minefield. When we ask those questions of people these days, we're starting to hear more and more people that are really struggling and juggling through life, and we want to change that. And this transformational system, the Habits of Health transformational system, is creating lifelong transformational habits. It is becoming a solution, an operating system, if you will, that is helping people to run a healthier lifestyle. And what's happening because of that is a ripple effect that is significant in regards to legacy. We're seeing people becoming healthier and families becoming transformed. We're seeing cities and communities becoming more healthy because top leaders are taking the initiative to start adopting these habits of health. And they're learning very simple principles. They're not having to do a lot of homework. They're just doing what other people are helping them to do. And we have this thing called the Life Book. Dr. Anderson created this interactive journal that helps people to create what they want in life. I'm going to speak specifically about element number 3. There's 26 different elements that we go through at a pace that's comfortable for our clients and our coaches. But what we do is we help people to learn how to install healthy habits into their life by helping them to engage in answering very important questions and learning very simple principles. And the things that we talk about inside of element number 1 is really focusing in on what matters most to you. And I don't know what matters most to you right now, but in 2022, what would really do it for you? If you could wave a magic wand and you could do what you wanted to do and be what you wanted to be and have what you wanted to have, what would you be? What would you do? And what would you have? What is it that you really want in life? I'd love to see it in the chat message. If you're watching this live or if you're watching a recording, go into the comments and put it in one word or maybe just a small phrase of what you would like to have more of in life. Is it healthier body? Is it healthier mind? Is it healthier finances? What is it that's really holding you back from living your best life? In our model of coaching, we use this thing called structural tension. And structural tension is just simply helping people to clarify what it is that they really want to create in life. What is your desired outcome or your desired results? You'll see on this screen that on the right-hand side is where we start to think about what it is that we'd like to accomplish in the future. And then we come back to our current reality and we assess the current situation. What is the things that are really problematic in your life? What are the challenges? Is it your weight? Is it your stress level? Is it your relationships? Is it that you're feeling lonely, bored, lacking purpose? What is your current reality in your physical, mental, and financial life? And then what is your desired outcome or your desired result? Because if we can create this distance between where you are and where you want to be, we can begin to fill in the gap with the secondary choices, the habits, the small short-term goals and action steps that you need to take to move from wherever you are to wherever you want to go. Here's the reality of where we're at today is that your circumstances today will not hold you back from creating the outcome that you desire. You can become the dominant force in your own life. You just simply have to create the results by adopting simple habits and by repeating those habits and being consistent even when you don't feel like doing it. And this is the secret that we like to share with people is that all we have to do is simply start to clarify what it is that we want and then clarify where we're at and then begin to identify what are the specific habits that will move us forward. And you know what? These things are not secrets. Many of us know of them. We just don't have a structure in how to live them out and how to adopt them consistently. And so if you are in a situation where you're feeling like, weight loss would be a strategy that you'd like to take advantage of, we can help you with doing that by helping you to get clarity of where you want to go, what's that healthy weight for you, and then what is the current scenario, what's your current reality, and then what are the habits that we need to help you to adopt over this next month, 2-3 months time period. What are the things that you need to start putting into your day so that your calendar matches your goals? This little process of creating a transformation cycle is something that Dr. Anderson has really mastered inside the Habits of Health transformation system. And what it is it's taking these simple cues and building a routine so that you begin to start seeing the rewards. And that oftentimes is very quick when we're working with an individual client. Once they start to change their behavior and they start taking action on their motives or their desired outcome, what happens is they start seeing the simple successes that come with that. And what happens is that they start feeling better. They start feeling healthier. They start feeling more confident. They start feeling a higher self-esteem because they're doing the things that matter to them and they're beginning to see the outcomes of that. Now, we can't promise overnight success with your health or your mental state or your financial state or your vocation. But what we can promise you is that habits of health lead to lifelong transformation. And that long-term investment, what you really want in the future, can become a reality if you commit to the process. Now, when we go into this habit loop, we have to understand that it's going to take some practice because over the last decades or whatever age you are, you've practiced some unhealthy habit loops. And we need to rewire those habit loops so that you can start to create a healthier habit loop. So you don't want to get frustrated if you don't get this immediately. We oftentimes find a lot of quick victories in our journey, but we oftentimes need to understand that we need to start out with some small micro habits. We need to start off with some things that we are committed to do that are achievable, that match our motivation level. If you start to overcommit to things that you cannot accomplish because you don't have the time or the energy or the motivation to create, you're oftentimes going to struggle to keep up the consistency. So starting off with small micro habits, starting out with simple things that you can do to start moving you forward is exactly what we want to do when we work with an individual client. We take this chaos that is oftentimes called life, and we start to organize things around what matters most. And we make it so simple for you that you can really create significant change in your life by taking simple steps and getting information on a need-to-know basis. When we work with people, we don't just throw the book at them and say, here's the book on how to be healthier. What we do is we give them a coach. We give them an opportunity to work with somebody side by side and moving them towards a process of learning how to live a healthy lifestyle. And get this, enjoy it. And everybody's a little different. That's why it's so critical to have the coach to guide you on your journey based on your current reality and your desired outcome. And then you use the Habits of Health transformation system to learn how to live a healthy lifestyle according to you, not according to everybody else, your sister, brother, mother, father, coworker. We got to stop comparing ourselves to other people and stop thinking about that, well, so-and-so could do it, but I can't. You can create more hope and health in your life, but you have to decide to do it and you have to plug in. We call this becoming a fully integrated client. The 4 components of our program are equal in value. Each one of them represents 25% of what we have to offer. If you only use 50% of what we have to offer, you're only going to get 50% or less of what's available. But if you use all 4, if you plug into the OPTAVIA community and you learn from other people who are doing what it is that you want to do, if you're learning from your coach in the Habits of Health transformation system, and if you're following a meal plan using our OPTAVIA fuelings as structured, healthy nutrition that's balanced and proven to be able to provide predictable transformation over time, if you're following this system, you can find predictable transformation and lifelong transformation, but you have to commit to plugging into all we have to offer if you want to get the best possible results. That's the secret to lifelong transformation. Now, let's stop for just a second. I want to do another quick poll, and I'd love to ask everybody that's here today, which of the 4 components are valuable to you? I know we have some clients, we have some of our coaches, and for our guest, if you were to look at those 4 components, what do you think would be the most valuable of the 4 components? And while we have that poll up, we're going to leave that poll up for about 60 seconds. And for those of you that are watching live on Facebook, go ahead and go into the comments section and just cast your vote. Which is the area or the component that is the most valuable to you? Is it the coach? Is it the transformational system? Is it the community? Or is it the fuelings and the meal plan? Go ahead and cast your vote. And while those votes are coming in, I'm going to go ahead and introduce you to our first guest today. This is my pleasure to be able to introduce Rebecca. Rebecca has had an amazing transformation story, a retired corporate executive for a major organization. You probably would recognize it. I won't mention the name, but Rebecca has led an amazing career. And now she has transformed her health, and now she's living her best life. And I'd love to have Rebecca come on and share a little bit more about her story. Rebecca, welcome to the webinar.
Thanks very much, David. It's just really, truly an honor to be with the group this evening to share my story. You know, I think I have battled my weight pretty much my entire life. I have vivid memories of as early as 5th grade going on a diet. And then throughout my life, I think I tried virtually every diet and weight loss program out there, losing the same 25, 35 pounds multiple times, you know, after I graduated from college, when I got married, after each of my 2 kids, and ultimately always gaining it back and then some. And I finally just accepted myself at a bigger size. And I routinely had a range of about 3 sizes in my closet at all times. And maybe some other people can relate to that. You know, David mentioned a little bit about my career. My job was very demanding, very high stress, truly 24/7, a lot of travel. And it was pretty typical for me to be on conference calls or even Zoom meetings, even pre-pandemic, from about 6 in the morning till late in the evening to cover all the different time zones around the world. And so it was frankly very difficult for me to find the time to put priority on my own health. And as my kids were entering high school, I was seriously considering taking early retirement to spend more quality time with them and to not have them, frankly, always being around the stressed out version of mom. And when after 32 years, my company wanted me to move to New York City, I decided, you know what, this is the right time to walk away. And so I did. And I decided that whatever I wanted to do next would be about making a difference to people and not just to the bottom line. I had also been involved for many years as a volunteer with a nonprofit service organization, and they talked to me about being international president for that. And I knew I couldn't do that with my career and my kids and so on, but this became the right time. So that was the perfect transition role for me from my corporate career into something I found very meaningful and fulfilling. But I was also warned going into that people typically gain about 20 pounds in this role because you're traveling and you're eating all these banquet meals. And, you know, it turns out they were right. So here I was, I found myself weighing what I weighed when I was pregnant with my son, which was like an all-time high for me. Honestly, guys, I weighed more than my husband. That is hard to deal with. Even the largest sizes in my closet were getting too small, and I was miserable. And I thought, you know, I lost my dad to a sudden heart attack when he was only 54, which was absolutely devastating. And so here I am in my 50s, and I knew I needed to do something. I wanted to be around for my kids and maybe someday for my grandkids. And, you know, to be honest, I needed to do something for me. I was really good at putting on a positive face to the outside world, but inside, I was absolutely at the end of my rope. And then I met Jim Adams. And this was just over 2 years ago. And Jim and I met through some of our local volunteer activities. And he shared with me that he had lost over 100 pounds in the past year. And I said, I want to know how you did that. And so he shared with me about this program. And as he talked about it, I thought, you know, this is not just a diet. This is about a healthier way of life. And it gave me hope. So what I've found is, as David talked about the 4 components of the program, I found all 4 were very helpful and equally important. It was something I greatly appreciated to have a personal coach who was there to support and encourage me along my journey. I found real value in Dr. A's Habits of Health book and his life book, teaching me about learning these habits and actually embracing those habits and figuring out what's most important to me and how to get there. So much more than just weight loss. I've also really enjoyed the supportive community of positive, like-minded people who I felt like were on the journey with me, sharing encouragement, sharing healthy tips and recipes, lots of different resources, webinars like you're on tonight has just been fantastic. And I found that the structured nutrition program was actually very simple for me to fit into my busy life and that of my family. So I started October 23rd of 2019, and I lost over 50 pounds and 4 sizes. That's right, I got under those 3 sizes in my closet and felt great. And did that right through the 2019 holiday season, through into the 2020 COVID lockdown. And I've continued as a healthier me. Now, early on, I also decided to pay it forward as a coach to encourage others and to really hold myself accountable. Guys, I was determined after doing this that this was not going to come back this time. So it's been really rewarding to help over 50 other people to lose hundreds of pounds, but also just to tell me how they felt so much more energy, so much better about themselves, and doing fun things like getting down on the floor and playing with their grandkids. This program has given me so much, so much more than just weight loss. I feel like I'm on a journey with like a family of people who are genuinely caring about each other and supportive. And we all know we're not perfect, but I love when they say it's about progress, not perfection. And for me, it's been about more than just physical health. It's also been about my mindset and the daily choices that I make to truly live my best life, to be the best version of me for my 2 kids who are now in college and for others who matter most. So my husband, our 2 moms, the grandmas that you saw in that picture David showed a minute ago, that was from a college family weekend with our kids this year. And as someone who left my identity in my corporate career and the busy mom of high schoolers, being a coach has also given me purpose. I've found another way to make a difference, and that's really been a blessing. And now with my husband and I being empty nesters, it's been great for us to have an opportunity to dream together again. We just recently went to our first OPTAVIA event, and it was just a fabulous weekend. We got to be inspired by people like Dr. A and Dan Bell and other coaches, and hearing about the impact people are having around the world. For us, it really gave us a chance to be excited about what the future holds for us in the second half of our lives. So I am so incredibly grateful to Jim for sharing this with me 2 years ago. It has made a huge difference in my life. David, thanks again for the opportunity to share, and I hope there's something in my story that may connect with others who are with us tonight. Thanks.
Wow, wonderful, man. You've just brought me more hope and health in my life, just hearing you share some of the background of your story. And I think that there's, been a lot of people that had a gym in their life that invited them to become the best version of themselves. And they were just simply walking the journey themselves. And so what a great story, Rebecca. Thank you so much for being with us here tonight. Hey, let's just take a quick look at the poll results from the poll that we just did on which of the 4 components are the most valuable to you. As you'll see, that these results are very evident of the balance that is required, or that is obvious in our program, is that we have people that have certain things that they love more than others, but you could see that there's equal balance, and many people have voted on different areas of the 4 components that really bring the most value to them. And I can just promise you this, is that all 4 will give you the best possible outcomes if you choose to pursue them and decide decide them to incorporate them into your life. And what oftentimes happens, Rebecca mentioned it, she decided to become a coach. Not everybody decides to become a coach in OPTAVIA, but what you're going to find is that people do what people do. And when you make a transformational change in your life, people will notice. They'll notice the change visually, but they'll also notice the change in the way that you talk and the way that you act, because your increase in self-confidence, your increase in energy, the increase in competence and how you go about making decisions in developing those healthy habits into your life, it will become obvious. And you're going to have two options of what you can choose to do. You can be a health champion and refer them to your coach, which a lot of our clients do, or you could decide to do what Rebecca did or what I did. And that's where you can step in and begin to pay it forward. And paying it forward has so many different advantages and benefits. For those of our coaches that are watching, I would love for you to comment inside of the chat or inside of the comments section if you're watching a recording or watching live on Facebook. Now, what are some of the benefits that you've seen from paying it forward and helping others? And while that's streaming in, I'm going to introduce you to our second panelist, Danielle. Danielle is a young mom of 2 kids, and an amazing wife to her wonderful husband, who's become a close friend. And her story, I think, is going to help some of you to really gain that passion for what's possible in 2022. Danielle, would you share a little bit about your story?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, David, for having me. My name is Danielle Lofton, and I'm so excited to be here with you tonight. So my story started about 5 years ago when we had our first child. I had gained 45 pounds in our pregnancy, and I was desperate to get it off. And like a lot of you, I'm sure, I was trying to do it on my own, and nothing was working. The scale was not moving, and which is not motivating to keep going. So when I was introduced to OPTAVIA and I saw results fairly quickly, it was a motivation to keep making healthy lifestyle choices. My life physically transformed through OPTAVIA. I lost the baby weight. We got pregnant right away, which was the goal. And my second pregnancy was even different than my first because I had already started incorporating the healthy habits that we talk about with OPTAVIA. So after my second pregnancy, I did the nursing moms plan. So I did the nursing moms plan after baby 1 and 2, where I was able to keep up my milk supply and lose at a healthy rate. And that was really exciting to me. After baby number 2, I decided to become a health coach. I decided to become a health coach because I felt like I was given a gift. I felt like I was given a gift through this program, and I really wanted to share that with others, friends, and family. As I started partnering with people on their journeys, I started hearing testimonies like husbands coming up to me saying, "Thank you for giving me my wife back." I had clients saying, "I feel confident in my skin again," or grandparents saying, "I can play with my grandkids and not feel winded. I feel energized all the time. I feel younger than I actually am." Those were transformation stories that I was so excited to partner with. The awesome thing about OPTAVIA is that we talk about lifelong transformation, one healthy habit at a time, physically, mentally, and financially. And I realized that I was not only unhealthy physically, but I was really unhealthy mentally. I was living my life in a fixed mindset instead of a growth mindset. And I don't know if you guys know the meanings of that. We talk about that a lot, but a fixed mindset says stuff like, it can never change. I'm always going to be this way. I'm always going to be overweight. I'm never going to be able to lose weight. I'm always going to live paycheck to paycheck. And when I started transforming my mental thinking from fixed to growth, a growth mindset says, instead of saying I can't, it says, how can I, right? How can I lose the weight? How can I change the trajectory of my generational line? How can I not live paycheck to paycheck? And so my husband and I started partnering with other people that wanted to become coaches. And I started hearing transformation stories from them, saying, I was able to save for a down payment on my house. I was able to go on date nights with my spouse again. I was able to save for that vacation or give more. I was hearing transformation stories, not only physically, but mentally and financially as well. We started dreaming big, God-sized dreams. And let me tell you something. I believe that each and every person was created on purpose for a purpose. And I love asking people that question. Do you know why you were created for what you were created for, why you were created to be on this earth. Why are we here? And are you living that life out? When we started with OPTAVIA, our mindset changed and we started dreaming big God-sized dreams that I could never come up with myself. And what I realized with OPTAVIA is that it was not only a vehicle to be able to give health and hope to the world, but it was actually a vehicle to help us realize our dreams. And so I'd ask you today, ask yourself, am I living the life that I was created to live? Physically, mentally, financially, spiritually, relationally, all the things. Am I living that? And do I know how, if I'm not, do I know the steps that I can take to get there? Thank you so much for having me a part of this, David. It's been so exciting.
And I love the passion in your voice. And I remember those days when you were just getting started on the program after having that first baby, and the transformation in the smile, the transformation in the eyes. I mean, seeing somebody dream bigger is an amazing, significant effect in your life. And I've had a chance to be a part of Danielle's full transformation story. And I can tell you that there's nothing I would change in the world to have that be different than what it is today. Danielle is one of many lifelong transformation stories where people have begun to dream again. The famous motivational speaker, Les Brown, said, the average American dies at the age of 44. They just don't bury him until the age of 84. And his comment was basically because people's dreams die usually around midlife, where they just give up hope. They've given up hope on their health. They've given up hope on their career. They've given up hope on their relationships. Then they have so many things that they've just given up hope on. And that's what we want to do tonight, is we want to give you hope. We want to show you that health is possible and you can create health and well-being regardless of your current circumstances. This Trilogy Wheel is something that we use as a form of assessment with our clients and coaches and candidates. And we ask them to grade themselves in each area on a scale of 0 to 10. If 10 was the best, healthiest version of your physical health and 0 was the unhealthiest version of you, how would you grade yourself physically? And then mentally, how would you grade yourself in an area of 0 to 10? When you think of all the things, spirituality, relationships, your work engagement, your community involvement, hobbies, fun, fulfillment, purpose, as Danielle mentioned earlier. And then how about your finances? And we can't promise you financial riches, but what we can do is show you that healthy habits can be practiced in all areas of life. And everything that we do in our program is about creating habits that create lifelong transformation. And I can tell you, everything affects everything. So if you feel like your finances are out of whack because of your financial choices, it may be because of that, but it also may be indicative of your physical choices. It may be completely related to your mental thought process, just as Danielle had talked about. And your maybe having that fixed mindset is holding you back from creating the best version of you in 2022 and beyond. So I'd love to go ahead and launch this poll and have everybody cast their vote on which of the 3 different areas of the trilogy would you like to improve? Which of the areas are the ones that you would love to see some improvement in 2022? Go ahead and cast your vote. And I'm going to go ahead while that poll is up and just go through a couple of the benefits of becoming an independent OPTAVIA coach. The primary reason why most people become a coach is because they want to reinforce their own decision. They understand that if they're encouraging other people to be healthier, they're going to likely be more encouraged to continue their own journey. They oftentimes want to pay it forward and make a difference in the lives of others because of what it's done for them. It is very fun and rewarding. There's a great community of people that share like-mindedness. Even though we may not all have the same beliefs, we all share a common set of values. And those values draw us together and encourage us and inspire us. And so the community can become kind of a family and friendship circle outside of your family and friendship circle. There's also compensation for those people that are looking for additional income, maybe just a small amount, or if somebody's looking for an opportunity to earn a full-time income, they can also go ahead and take advantage of that inside of our business model. There's also the currency of goodwill, just paying it forward and doing good in the world. Actually, you receive a form of encouragement or fulfillment that doesn't necessarily pay the bills, but it does have a value to each and every one of us who's experienced it. If you have dreams, is what Danielle said earlier, you may not have huge dreams right now. You may just have some very important wants and needs. And that could be maybe the reason why you consider helping other people, is because you have had a decrease in income, or you've been laid off, or you had a decrease in your business, and you are looking for an opportunity to be able to serve people in a way that's meaningful to them and to you. And you want the opportunity to earn more income. And then there's the legacy factor, that you can, cast a shadow beyond the grave. You can cast a ripple effect in the lives of countless individuals, because there's a business model that is set up so that you can go out there and make an impact, and then you can show other people how to make an impact. And that has been one of the best things in my own personal journey, is seeing that ripple effect and seeing how total strangers' lives are impacted because I chose to take that next step. Let's go ahead and show the poll results from our Trilogy survey. Great. Hey, look at the results there. If you just see that many people are looking to improve in all three aspects of the Trilogy. We aren't a weight loss company. We are a program that helps people to create optimal health and well-being in their life. And we can show you how to do the same thing if you'd like to learn more. I want to give an introduction to our last panelist of the night. This is Todd. Todd is a good friend, and he's also a great partner. And he has been one of the people that have inspired me to continue my journey towards creating optimal health and well-being as he's continued to pursue his passion. He's a physical therapist. He's been in the health professional world for decades, and I can't wait for Todd to tell you a little bit more about his amazing transformation. Todd, welcome to the webinar.
Yeah, thanks, David. And, you've been an inspiration to me, and I've been inspired by the other panelists tonight. I didn't know Rebecca's story, and that was amazing to listen to her. I knew a little bit about Danielle's story, and actually was with her at a conference when she is just getting started being a coach. And watching her tonight was amazing, just seeing her transformation in her confidence level. And you're right, that smile is something else, and just her passion is great, and it's contagious. So I'm honored to be part of this panel. Just a pleasure to be able to share my story. And like you said, David, I'm a physical therapist, and as a PT, I was supposed to be a good example for my patients and my family and my staff as a healthcare person, but I wasn't taking care of myself. And I didn't really notice that until I stepped on the scale and saw a number I'd never seen before and didn't like it. And a friend of mine who's a fellow PT, he had reached out to me about this program, and he told me about it. And I called him up, said, dude, I need your help. And so I got on the program and lost 33 pounds. But more importantly, I lost a lot of that mental baggage that Danielle was talking about. I've lost so many bad habits. And what I gained was energy, mental clarity, just a newfound confidence that I hadn't had before. And my health just blossomed, and people wanted that. They, like you said, people want what people do what people do, but people wanted what I had. And so I wanted to pay it forward. And so I became a coach as a PT, and it has transformed my practice to the point where I was seeing these transformations in my patients that were just phenomenal. And not all of them, but a vast majority of them were seeing amazing results. And these things these chronic problems that were happening, I was seeing different results with, and it was great. And some of those people decided to pay it forward and become coaches with me, and it's been a fun journey to be able to do that. As a healthcare professional, I was drawn to OPTAVIA. I looked for answers when I was having my issues, and what I was drawn to was the science behind OPTAVIA. It's just a medically backed scientific program that is just really solid on solid ground. And it's like we've said before tonight, it's not a diet. This is a lifestyle change. And as you grab hold of all four aspects of the program and really integrate yourself into the program, it works. It works amazing results. The people that treat it as a diet and only use the fuelings or only use one or two components of the four, not the success rate is not quite as high. I liked it for the science, but I also liked it that there's no inventory. I didn't have to carry anything in my office, and just a great way to enhance my patient's care. But really, as it incorporates, like we've talked about, all aspects of health, the healthy body, healthy mind, healthy finances, and I was able to incorporate that into my life. So as this has continued on my journey, I became, my dreams, those God-sized dreams that Danielle was talking about, became much bigger. And I just listened and to figure out, okay, what do I want? What is my purpose? Why am I here? And those dreams have allowed me to really get outside my comfort zone a little bit and dream a lot bigger. And with the help of OPTAVIA, I've now had the freedom to become a full-time health coach, and I love it. It's a new thing for me, but we're getting our feet wet in a new community. We've moved, and we've had the freedom to find our dream property and to do what we want on that property and to be close to our kids. Freedom to work from home, freedom to travel when I want to travel. Developing relationships, new relationships, is going to be my newfound passion. And I've already started to do that, and it's a lot of fun. And I just can't wait to see what the future brings. But those God-sized things are happening, and I'm going to move forward and really continue to help people with their journey towards optimal health, hope, and personal freedom themselves. Thanks, David. Appreciate the chance to be here. And again, appreciate the outstanding panelists and just loved hearing their stories. Thanks again, buddy.
You're welcome, Todd. I love seeing health professionals become, more healthier, and then to be able to see them actually have the tools to begin to start helping their patients and their community members and family members and friends, and then to be able to see them transition into full-time health coaching as a health professional and actually be pioneering the concept of creating health in people's lives rather than just reacting to the problems that come from an unhealthy lifestyle or that come from injuries that oftentimes could have been prevented because of a person could have taken back control of their life. And so thankful for people like Todd. And, the great thing about OPTAVIA is that the business of OPTAVIA has options. There's a very unique business model that has been used and it was created, and it's like nothing you've ever seen before. For those people that are interested in expanding, working with OPTAVIA as a coach, there's 3 different options that you have. You can become an OPTAVIA coach and you can work directly with clients, or you could become a business coach and you can begin to work with clients and other coaches. You can begin to develop other coaches to help more people. And then you can decide if you want to become a business leader where you're leading teams of coaches. And just like Todd had his physical therapy practice, is that he could have just simply served patients and not had any other therapist inside of his office. He could just choose to help people directly in a retail model of therapy. But he decided he wanted to help more patients. And so he added more physical therapists into his practice, and he was able to help those physical therapists to do what they wanted to do and to make an income from their profession. And they were able to help more people to get healthier. Now, Todd could have opened up multiple clinics and he could have ended up expanding his operation, and he could have been a leader of leaders. And that's the business concept that the OPTAVIA business was designed around, was the opportunity for expansion. To get America healthy and then the world, we're going to need more coaches. There's almost 1 million physicians in the United States alone. There's over 4 million nurses and many hundreds of thousands of physical therapists, chiropractors, massage therapists, and all the different types of health professionals. And there's a huge gap because we are seeing a continual increase in obesity and lifestyle-related diseases. And so we need people from all different walks of life to step forward and start paying it forward to other people. And so, whether or not this is a fit for you, this is a great opportunity for you to learn more and then to have that growth mindset, like Danielle said, and reach out to the person that invited you to this community time or who shared this video with you if you're watching a recording, and make the decision to incorporate the Trilogy of Optimal Health in your life so that you can reach your goals in 2022. And there's lots of different ways that you can come alongside of us and partner with us. So explore the possibilities, keep that growth mindset and say, how could I improve my health and well-being by partnering with this amazing organization and this great community called OPTAVIA. And I would just encourage you to jump into all OPTAVIA has to offer, because there is so much available to you, and it's up to you to decide what fits for you. So on behalf of all the panelists today, Rebecca, Danielle, and Todd, I just want to say thank you for investing some time tonight and celebrating my 49th birthday tonight. It was so much fun hanging out with you. And if you have a takeaway, share it in the comments or share it in the chat. We love reading the takeaways that people heard or the aha moments. And we really encourage you to reach out to the person that shared this video or that invited you to participate tonight, and to ask them how you can be more involved in what it is that we have to offer. Thanks, everybody. I hope you guys all have an extraordinary 2022.
At OPTAVIA, our mission is to offer the world lifelong transformation, one healthy habit at a time. The previous audio contained the personal testimonials of independent coaches and clients within the OPTAVIA community. Their results are based on the unique experiences of their journey. We cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. We hope these stories inspire you to continue your journey with or join OPTAVIA, but please note that they have not been verified and your individual path to optimal health will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you speak with a healthcare provider or doctor prior to beginning your journey with OPTAVIA. Additionally, this audio may have contained income or earnings representations of some independent OPTAVIA coaches. The stories shared reflect the unique experience of a very small percentage of OPTAVIA coaches and should not be relied upon by prospective or current OPTAVIA coaches as an indication of what they should expect to earn. We cannot guarantee financial success. Success with OPTAVIA results from successful sales efforts which require hard work, diligence, skill, persistence, competence, and leadership. OPTAVIA acknowledges that this audio may be accessible to OPTAVIA coaches in the U.S., Hong Kong, and Singapore. For OPTAVIA coaches operating in the U.S., please see the OPTAVIA Income Disclosure Statement for statistics on actual earnings of U.S. coaches under the U.S. Compensation Plan. Please note that the Income Disclosure Statement only applies to independent OPTAVIA coaches operating in the U.S. under the U.S. Compensation Plan and does not in any way constitute any representations as to actual or potential accrual of benefits for Hong Kong or Singapore coaches under the International Compensation Plan.